Hi everyone, I've had a few requests for a full tour of the cockpit, so let's have a quick tour. It's hard to get a detailed look at the outside of the cockpit in its current state, so I'll show some pictures from when I was assembling the cockpit. The cockpit is made mainly out of laser cut aluminium, and I guess it's fairly apparent that I haven't put much effort into making the outside of the cockpit aesthetically pleasing. Here it's form following function all the way. One of the main design criteria has been to make a compact cockpit, as there is limited space available. For reference, this room is 12 square meters. The compact design and limited space available eliminates projectors and curved screens for the outside visuals. Instead, I'm using three 4K 65-inch TVs. To optimize the footprint and reduce cost, I've mounted the TVs on some DIY stands made from aluminium tubing and plywood. Ideally, I would have selected larger TVs, however I got the 65-inch TVs for cheap. Still, the achieved field of view is approximately 200 degrees, which I find sufficient, especially when using curtains to block out the rest of the outside view. Another question that pops up is what PC specs I'm using to run the simulator. First, it might be informative to know that I'm running Microsoft Flight Simulator and ProSim 737. Which is a 737 add-on similar to PMGG, which focuses on hardware cockpits. The main computer that runs Microsoft Flight Simulator has an AMD 5600X, NVIDIA RTX 4090 and 32 gigs of memory. With DLSS 3 and frame generation on, I'm achieving between 30 to 60 FPS with everything except LOD on Ultra, depending of course on scenery quality. My impression is that I'm CPU limited and I have a AMD 5800 X3D ready to install. I do also have a secondary computer to run the instrument displays. This is a feature of ProSim 737 that allows instrument displays to be distributed over additional PCs via network. The secondary computer is an old computer I had laying around with an Intel i5 2500K, 3 NVIDIA GT 710s, and 8 gigs of memory. In addition to the instrument displays, the secondary computer is also running the instructor station, where I can manipulate the flight scenario. Now let's have a detailed look at the inside of the cockpit, where I put a lot of effort into making it feel like a proper 737. The simulator is a DIY project where I have designed and built everything myself, except the glare seals and the throttle quadrant. I'm planning to make a video on how I built the cockpit, diving into the design process, part manufacturing and assembly. If this sounds interesting, I would suggest that you subscribe to not miss that video when it comes out. For improved immersion, I've added tactile transducers under each seat. Seats that I will replace in the near future. Another modification I made is a panel to adjust the view so it fits the pilot flying. The reason why this is needed is the misalignment between the vanishing point of the image on the monitor and where the vanishing point should be for the pilot flying in a real plane. This is due to the seating position being offset from the center of the monitor. This is also a drawback of positioning the outside view very close to the pilot, as I've done in this cockpit. In Microsoft Flight Simulator, the only way to mitigate this issue is to rotate the view so it fits the pilot flying. Another addition I'm currently working on is improving the interior lighting. My goal is to have the interior lighting follow the exterior light conditions. So when it's dark outside, there's no light in the cockpit, unless I turn on the floodlight or the panel lights. As with all large DIY projects, there are things that are not completed. There are gaping holes for the clocks, the flap gauge and the brake pressure gauge. I've made all the parts, I'm just waiting for the next maintenance break to install them. So this was a brief introduction to my cockpit. I do have exciting plans for additional features such as 2-DOF motion and force feedback yokes, which I will cover in future videos. I hope you have enjoyed this quick cockpit tour. Thanks for watching.
100, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10,